First and foremost, can everybody hear me? I gave a test earlier. No one's showing their faces, so if you don't stop me, I'm going to think that you can hear me.
Yep, we can hear you.
All right, thanks. Sorry about that last week. We thought we tested it and it was working, but I listened to the recording and it was awful. So take two here. So we'll do questions at the end. It's just going to be me tonight, so you get me doing the whole thing. But we'll without further ado, we'll get started. We got 7 weeks this summer, June 17th to August 2nd. We're sold out for every week except for week 3, which is July 4th shortened week. That parent handbook is online. So if you just scan that QR code, it will take you to that. It's also on our Camp Tatawan website page, and available here if anybody ever wants to grab one right here from the office. All right, so I'll talk about the staff a little bit, but all of our staff are pro rescuer level, CPR, first aid, AED trained through the American Red Cross. And the ones that aren't are lifeguard trained. So every single staff member that works here has a certification at the very lowest as a pro rescuer, professional rescuer level, which is the same as the fire department and police department gets. So we're all on the same page if they ever have to work together. Hopefully we never do. We choose our staff based on experience, expertise, work ethic, and especially enthusiasm for the job. And we have a 10-to-1 ratio for kids 7 and older, and a 5-to-1 ratio for kids 6 and under. That's required by law. So we actually are a little bit more like 4-to-1 over our whole camp. We have 50 staff, and we have 200 kids a week roughly. So we do better than the ratios that are required. We also have counselors in training. At least 6 a week. Some weeks we have 10 to 11, but those are kids that are going in 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, learning to be counselors. All right, so just really quickly, like our full-time staff is Alicia Day. She's on the top left of the screen. That's the boss, the director, Tim Mahowski. You'll see him in the center picture in the top. He's our assistant director. And then you have me and my boys. I'm a program coordinator. Bottom left is Kelsey Giannetti. She's running the Teen Adventures program this summer. Middle bottom is Rachel Berg. She's aquatics director this year, running the beach with Tim. She's also running the club program here during the school year. And our office manager in the bottom right, that's Melanie. Just to get you to know who you're calling if you're ever calling the office, that's us. Our directors are Megan Bell. This is her 2nd year as camp director. And joining her this year for the first time is Abby and Haley. They've been working here for about, I think Abby's been here for 4 and Haley's been here for about 8 years. Both are joining the assistant director role. And then we have former director James Ray, who is just kind of like a consultant. He'll be in and around when we need him, and we have him kind of guide the directors as needed with all his, I think he's worked at Camp T for about 14 or 15 years between all the years. And he was a deer all the way up to a tiger. So this is Reagan Doucette. She's our camp nurse. She's officially our healthcare supervisor on site. She is in the nursing program at the University of Florida. She has her CNA, and she's working on becoming a full-time nurse. If you did want to email her, that's her email address. If you just scan that QR code, it will take you to a Google form. So if you want her to call you back at a time that works for you or email you about anything medically related that you're concerned about your child coming to camp, she's reviewing all the camp docs as well as other staff here in the office. We send everything to our healthcare consultant, who is Dr. Eileen Murray this year. She's new to us. She's a pediatrician in Concord. She reviews any medical conditions that she reviews all the medical conditions, but then she'll review that information and then kind of swing it back to us about asking sort of more clarifying questions or just approve the medications that we're given as well. But She's involved with making sure that medically we're taking care of everything we need to take care of when it comes to the campers and staff. Just to talk about the day, if you look at the top right, that's the rolling drop off. We want you to enter from the Goldsmith side if you can. It doesn't mean you can't enter from the Shaker Lane side of school. But you would follow the greens to come in and the reds to come out. You would drop off by the Shaker Lane cafeteria door. If your child is a deer, doe, fox, or coyote, which means they're going into first grade or going into kindergarten, we're asking that you park your car in the lot and walk those children in. Just a lot, it slows the line, the process down. 5-point harnesses, maybe a child that doesn't want to be to let go of mom or dad. A little easier if you walk them to the door for that process. So it's not required, but you know, if you need a little extra time, we're asking you to do that to make it easier for us. We do have before care offered. 7:30 to 8:30 is the time. It's $15 a day or $67.50 a week if you sign up for the whole week. Don't show up before 8:30 unless you signed up for that. We want to make sure that the folks that paid for that time are the ones that we're taking care of in that hour. So CAMT drop off is from 8:30 to 9. Once that's complete, we do our morning meeting with everybody in the cafeteria. And then from 9 to 12:10, we rotate through different activities, music, art, science, sports, and technology. This year, we're going to have some kids swim at the lake earlier. We'll go through that daily schedule in a little bit. Then we have lunch at 12:10 to about 12:45 is our lunchtime. And most of the campers will go swimming after that. We continue the blocks and the activities for the kids. 3 to 3:30 is pickup. Again, if you're a doe, deer, fox, or coyote, please walk your child in or walk to the door and get them and walk them to the car. Once 3:30 hits, we're going to be calling you unless they're signed up for aftercare. And aftercare is $25 a day or $112.50 per week. And that is more of a free time. They get to choose what they want to do, unlike the structured portion of the day. And outside time and a lot of choice time during that time period. So what to expect? The week looks like this. On Mondays, we do our big camp meeting with everybody. We'll orient and sort of let our new campers know each week what they're going to have and expectations for each group and as a whole. On Tuesdays, a typical camp day. On Wednesday, if we have a special performer, that's the day they're going to come. Thursday's our dress up day. So that has in line with our different themes. You can see one of the pictures. It was superhero day there, and those are all our super boys and girls that were dressed up that day. And then on Fridays, our field trip day, which is an optional day for an additional cost. If you're staying back, it's just a traditional camp day, swimming, activities, cycling through the things. It's a lot less structured. We probably have about 10 to 20 kids a week that take us up on staying back, and we make one big group and we staff it appropriately and we go through the day. So this is our schedule for the kids going into kindergarten and first grade, what it will look like. You can see that the afternoon time is our swim time, and snacks at 10:20 and lunch is at 12. We give a lot of time for the walk to coming back from the lake because it takes so long for the littles to get back. But that's why that time seems a little crazy. But trust me, if you've seen it in action, you'll know that's probably about right. And our kids going into second grade, they will swim before lunch this year. So send them in their bathing suits. You can send all your kids in their bathing suits if they're comfortable in that. It's just a little easier than changing out of them than changing back into them. I mean, into them and then back out of them. Not all your kids are gonna get home with their bathing suit changed to dry clothes. There just isn't enough time to get everybody kind of rolling through that. We will do our best. So that's what a typical day looks like for going into second grade. And for our senior camp, which is going into third, fourth, and fifth, and we did allow some sixth graders to come this year that asked. That's what their schedule looks like for the week. Excuse me. Let one more person in here. All right, so again, if you have questions, we'll save it for the end, but certainly feel free to type them into the box there. The disciplinary policy, if you filled out your camp docs, which I hope you have, you've signed off on this exact same thing, but this kind of just walks you through, how we're going to handle any situation. My biggest thing as a dad is that I don't want to hear about something when it's too late, when it's time for someone that gets kicked out. Of course, there's extreme situations, but I want you to be on the same page as us, and that we're going to communicate with you on things that we hope that you can reinforce at home. Being, hey, we had a tough day today, and so was difficult with participating, or didn't want to swim, or ran away from the group. We're going to share those things with you so you can reiterate those things at home and let them know that, that your expectation of them while they're with us is the same expectation as when they're with you. And that just, I don't need to go through all those things there, but essentially a verbal warning is like a conversation that we have. A written notice is something that we feel extreme enough that we need to let you know in writing, so that if it does continue, that's something that we're going to have to, move up the chain, and hopefully that we never have to, but it does happen sometimes that we have to remove someone from camp. We do reserve the right to kind of escalate the offenses. We can go right from first to fifth offense on a minor, or first to third offense on a major infraction. But we don't love this part, but this is what we need to do to make sure that everybody is safe and having a good time at camp. So what to bring to camp every day? A lunch, non-perishable. So we do not have a refrigerator for them to put it in. 2 snacks and a full water bottle, multiple water bottles if they want. We do have a water filling station, so even if they come to camp with an empty water bottle, they can fill it up. Footwear, closed-toe shoes for the non-swimming portion. Crocs are fine as long as they can run around them and be active. We want you to apply sunscreen before they come to camp, and supply some more sunscreen so we can reapply before heading to the lake or being outside for an extended period of time. We're going to give everybody a camp t-shirt, regardless if you're registered for a field trip week or not. That shirt is to be worn on the field trip day. Keeps everybody in the same color, and it's easy for us to see them. So we ask that you wear them on those days. We'll be doing some tie-dye stuff, so if you choose to tie-dye that in the last week, you can do that. We always ask for an extra change of clothes just in case you might, fall in a puddle outside on the playground and everything gets wet. Even if you're in a tiger, it certainly happens. And if you have an extra set of clothes, it makes it a lot easier to make that day comfortable for them. So we ask that everybody puts an extra supply of clothes for any reason that may come up, that they could use it in like a Ziploc bag. Just throw it in the backpack day one. If you never use it, you never have to take it out of the thing. Then it's there when we need it. The Type 3 PFD, which is a life jacket. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And a bathing suit and a towel. What not to bring: any electronics from home, no cell phones, no toys from home, no weapons or toy weapons, even on dress-up day. Trading cards or magic cards at camp, we ask that you do not bring them in, but a lot of kids do bring them in for before and after care. We just tell them they have to stay in the bag during the camp portion of the day. And no money on field trips. Don't ask to bring money. Don't say, can you buy lunch? Just stop in everything to have staff stand in line somewhere when we're out at Canopy Lake or anywhere else that we're going. This summer is just really takes up a lot of time, too much time, and ends up making everybody else wish they had money. So we say no field trips and no bringing money for like when they're at the lake to buy something from the snack shack. Please label everything. The more things you label, the better. If you label every single thing, we're going to return them right with your child at the end of the day or the next. We go through the lost and found a lot. If there's no names on them, we're expecting you to kind of come and look through those things. Once or twice a week, we'll lay those things out front while you're out, you're doing the pickup or the drop off time. Hopefully you'll identify stuff. About 3 weeks after camp ends, after Labor Day, we'll bring everything to Goodwill. So hopefully you've collected all those things. We'll be taking pictures at the end of camp and sending them to you. We're not liable for any lost items at camp. I do need to state that so that you know that we're just too many things to be responsible for at camp for us to be on top of every single item that your child brings. Allergies and medications. So if you're prescribed an EpiPen, you got to bring it, even if you don't need it anymore. I hear that a lot. He doesn't need it anymore. If the prescription says they need an EpiPen or an asthma inhaler, we're requiring you to bring it, or the child cannot come to camp. If they don't need it anymore, we need a letter from the pediatrician stating as such. So we'll be asking. We'll be going through the list. We'll be looking at the well visit and the camp docs. If it's on the well visit but not on the camp docs, we're going to be calling you to talk about, why isn't it? So we are asking, even if you're not sure or they don't need it anymore, if it's prescribed, we need it. We want you to bring two. One's going to go with the nurse. One's going to go with the lead. We also want you to bring like an antihistamine, like a Benadryl, so that if there is an allergy reaction and we do have to use an EpiPen, that we're going to give them the anti-allergen so that it's treating the allergy that's most likely has caused the swelling in the person. New this year, for children with an inhaler, we're requiring the spacer. So if you don't know what that is, it's like a clear long tube. You stick the inhaler in one hand, we press it with your child, we can see the medication go into the clear tube, and then we can see that it's entered into their system. They've inhaled it all. We are getting some to have on site, but if you have one already, we're asking that you bring that with you as well. We don't keep things over the weekend. You'll sign things on a Monday, you'll send them out on a Friday, even if they're signed up for the whole summer. We're not going to keep them over the weekend. We are not a nut-free camp, but we will separate the children with nut allergies, and we will be very well aware of who they are during snack and lunchtime, separated from the kids that have something that may be a situation that your child can't be around. Illnesses or injuries at camp. So just talking about more like illnesses here is that same thing as the schools. If you have 100-degree temperature or more, if it hasn't been 24 hours since they've had that temperature, then we're asking you not to send that child. An undiagnosed rash, sore, skin condition, we want that to be taken care of before you come back. Like an excessive sore throat that's been undiagnosed, excessive coughing, any stomach issues within the last 24 hours. If they throw up at noon at camp and we send them home, they're not coming back the next day. It just should be expected from both parties. And any contagious disease or symptom, COVID, etc., obviously not to come back unless they've had a clearance from a pediatrician or, you've gone through the protocols as such. We do understand that you rely on camp for childcare. We do get it. I'm a dad. I understand that throws a monkey wrench in the system of going to work. But we're asking that you are abiding by these rules and strictly enforced from us and you as well at home. Camp docs, that's the paperwork I'm talking about. You should have gotten an email from us. If you haven't, then something's wrong. So give us a call. But you're going to have to give us your health history. You're going to have to upload a well visit. Which means a physical from the last 12 months. So that means the well visit or physical had to have happened within 12 months of the program they're attending. So if it was from 2022, that means it's outdated. We need a new one, and immunization records that show the record from within the last 12 months, even if they haven't had any updated immunizations. On May 1st, we reset the whole thing and it forced you to re-upload or to go in and check to see if you had something that was current. If you haven't If what you had was, you'll need to go in and re-upload the same sheet. But we want to make sure everybody had a chance to just address it on your end. So make sure that is up to date. If it's not, we'll be calling you. You can't come to camp without it. It is the law, unfortunately, but that's what we're bound by to be a licensed camp in the state of Massachusetts. And lastly, you'll have the swim test permission form. I've talked about that. That allows your child to swim. It allows your child to be swim tested. And then it talks about whether or not they pass the swim test, what they'll have to do, which is wear the life jacket. We'll talk about that in a second. So just to kind of go through the weeks, those are the themes and our special performances. I see Ashley Coffey's on here. Her husband Sean's making sure that the fire department comes in. They're going to be here on July 2nd on our Heroes Week. You know, the field trips there you see listed, those are additional costs. Those are all in the registration. The dress up days are on Thursday. We don't need to go through every single thing there. We have our another thing that the fire department is doing with us on Friday, July 26th. They will be coming with their big ladder truck. We'll be doing a big egg drop. The field trip's on Thursday that week. So Friday we're doing the egg drop, where they take them way up on the ladder truck and drop them. It was a big hit last year, a lot of fun. And then we have our final week, which we don't have a field trip, but we have a big carnival, all the inflatables out back, water slides. We're gonna have shave ice, Hawaiian shave ice there that day. We'll be having pizza that day. And it'll be like our last day of camp where the kids all sign the shirts and such. This is just something we added this year. We added a camp swag store. So if you're interested in more gear, it's not something that we actually make about 10% back, but we don't set any of these prices. And we don't supply any of this stuff. It's a per order. If you order something, it's made to order. We'll send it to you. There's some sweet Camp T bathing suits that you'll see me in this summer. So that's just some things. They have backpacks and such. We thought that was something that might be fun and might be something some staff and kids might be interested in, and certainly nothing big or required here. So I'm going to talk about Christian's Law for a second. Christian Frechette was a young boy who unfortunately lost his life by drowning at a summer camp in the city of Boston. His parents had made it their mission after that to make sure that never happened again. The purpose of the law is to ensure that minors participating in municipal or recreational swimming programs or in licensed camps in Massachusetts, that is for open water, like lakes and oceans, or rivers, I suppose, but no man-made bodies of water, which is being talked about but has not been passed yet. So if your child fails the swim test, which is a level 3 swim test, it's on the camp docs, tells you exactly what it is. You can download that, go over that with your child. Most kids in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade don't pass. It's a really tough test. So I would honestly be expecting them to fail. Failing doesn't mean that they're bad or they're not good enough. It just means that we want them to be in the safest situation possible. And we're going to require them to wear that life jacket. So that life jacket's going to clip in the front or zippered in the front. It's not the swimmies with the arm inflatable area. It's called a Type 3 swim test. On the inside of the vest is a stamp. And it tells you that it's a Type 3 swim test or it's Coast Guard approved. And we're going to fit test them for that. And we're going to make sure that they're in the safest situation possible while swimming at our lake. There's a little video here about Christian's Law, the fit test. I'm going to play this for you right now.
The Massachusetts Department of Public Health is charged with protecting the health and well-being of its citizens. Within the department, the Bureau of Environmental Health has a broad mission of protecting the public's health from a variety of environmental exposures. The Bureau is comprised of 9 programs, including the Community Sanitation Program. Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 111, Section 127A and a half, commonly referred to as Christian's Law, was signed into law on July 12, 2012. The law requires the Department of Public Health to develop regulations to provide swim tests and flotation devices for children at municipal and recreational programs and licensed camps at fresh or saltwater beaches. Christian's Law has three key elements. First, that all minors are properly swim tested pursuant to guidelines established by national safety organizations, such as the American Red Cross, YMCA, and others, before their first swimming session. Second, to confirm that all minor children are provided with a properly sized and snug-fitting personal flotation device or life jacket if they test as a non-swimmer or as an at-risk swimmer. And finally, to ensure parents or legal guardians can provide a properly fitted life jacket to their child if they so choose. Our goal for this video is to provide training for programs and camps with beach waterfront activities to comply with the law. You'll learn how to properly select, examine, and fit test life jackets for children in your care. The Bureau thanks all of those who are implementing Christian's Law to further protect children attending recreational programs and camps in Massachusetts.
Hello, my name is Steve McCann. I'm with the Coast Guard Auxiliary 1st District, Northern Region, supporting the Coast Guard in Massachusetts. There are many different types of personal flotation devices, also called PFDs or life jackets, that are available. It is important to choose the proper life jacket for each child. In all cases, life jackets should be United States Coast Guard certified according to type. You must use type 1, 2, or 3. It is important to note the use of inflatable life jackets is not permitted. Type 1, or offshore life jackets, are those typically found on cruise ships or boats that are traveling far from the coastline. They can be quite bulky and are not intended or recommended for aquatic activities. It can be difficult to swim with one of these jackets on. Type 2, or nearshore buoyant vests, are most typically found on boats, but they are not designed for in-water activities. They are designed to keep your head out of the water. Type 3, or flotation aids, are typically vest-style jackets used for water skiing or other aquatic activities. The Type 3 life jacket is the most popular life jacket for in-water activities. In addition to making sure you have the right type of life jacket, including those provided by a parent or guardian, you must also check that it is in serviceable condition. By serviceable, we mean in good and usable condition. You should give the life jacket a thorough examination to ensure it is without tears, mold, mildew, or other damage. Check the label to see if there is a legible Coast Guard certification number. Examine the jacket visually. Does it have tears or missing straps or damaged retention clips? Feel the jacket. Does the foam or buoyant material compress and spring back, or does it feel broken or brittle? Proper storage, keeping it clean, dry, and in a well-ventilated location will increase life jacket shelf life. The life jacket must also be the proper size for the intended wearer. Read the label of the life jacket to make sure it is the right size based on the child's weight and chest size. It is important to conduct a fit test to ensure the life jacket fits snugly. An individual record, including the date and person performing the fit test, as well as the size of the life jacket selected, should be documented and maintained for reference. Once the life jacket is appropriately fastened, you should ensure the life jacket is properly fitted. Lift the child up by the shoulders of the life jacket and ensure that his or her chin and ears do not slip through. Now for the final part of the fit test. Let the child enter the water. When the child is in the water, the jacket may fit differently. If it looks like it doesn't fit, ask the child to leave the water, have the straps of the life jacket adjusted, and read the label of the life jacket to make sure it is the right size. In addition to the initial fit test, a fit check needs to be performed with each use of a life jacket. Every time there is an aquatic activity, you should perform a fit check. This should be done before the child enters the water. Double check that you are giving the child the right size life jacket based on the original fit test, and that it is properly fastened and that it still fits. Complete a visual check to ensure the life jacket is secured and fitting properly. Only then should you let the child enter the water. We hope that this video has helped you and your staff members understand how to comply with important aspects of Christian's Law. Now you know how to properly select, examine, and fit test life jackets for children in your care. Please remember that there are additional resources available for accurate and up-to-date information. You can find these resources at the websites on screen. Remember, life jackets save lives, but only when worn and properly fitted.
All right, so we're gonna be, we'll be there tomorrow night from 4 to 5 at the lake, and on Saturday from 1 to 3:30 doing more testing. So if you do want to get your test done with, or you want to be fit tested, your child fit tested, if you have like a jacket you bought and you're not sure it's right, we can look at it for you. We can tell you it's the right kind or not the right kind, and we can conduct the fit test right then and there, even if they're not doing the swim test. And then every Monday during the camp season is when we generally swim test everybody else. We do end camp on August 2nd. So there's 3 more weeks of summer. We have our playground program that is for kids going into K through 4. We do have aftercare offered for these 2 programs, this and Camp TX, which is our older kids program, not before care. But this is based out of here at the offices or at Long Lakes for the whole day. And there's some little field trips mixed in among there. TX is the older kids version, grades 4 through 8. We do 2 weeks of programming, then we take 1 week off before the school year starts to get ready for the school year and all our programs that take place then. Again, if you have not written down the Camp T phone, not again, but if you haven't written the Camp T cell phone number down, it's this number here, 590-9622. That's only like while we're in session. camptprc@gmail.com will take you right to the directors. They're not presently watching that every day right now. But if you do need something now, between now and we only have about 6 days left of work days and school days before camp starts, you can email me or you can call me 540-2494. You can actually text me at that number as well. Questions? Can we get a copy of the slides? I will share the copy with us of the slides afterwards. I'll download them to a PDF and I will email them out to everybody. Margo, what's up?
Hi, John. I was wondering if the kids are walking down to Long Lake, obviously it makes sense for them to be wearing sneakers. And then I just imagine, they're done swimming, they've got sand on their feet. Are you suggesting like they wear Crocs on the way back, or they brush their feet off the best that they can and put their sneakers back on and go back?
Yeah, so we usually tell them to change into everything, even their flip-flops or, a lot of them wear Crocs to the lake or slides. It's not that far of a walk, but we do change into everything because that reason we're not asking, and kids do put on their socks and shoes after they get out and it's sandy and nasty and disgusting and uncomfortable for them, to say the least. So we change them into everything: bathing suit, shoes, everything.
So then it's okay that they just wear sandals to and from the beach, but they're wearing sneakers when they're not at the beach.
Yes.
I just want to make sure, and I don't want them to like get in trouble. Like, you're wearing sandals, you're not supposed
Nobody's
to.
gonna ever get in trouble for wearing the wrong thing. It just makes it's their enjoyment and participating in the activities. If we're playing a game that has a lot of running outside in the fields and they're wearing slides, it's not ideal, right? So that's all we want, is for them to have their best, most enjoyable time at camp with the right stuff.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
One more question. If we're signed up for the first week of camp, but our school district's not out until like midweek, Do we need to notify you guys that we're not joining until midweek, or what do you recommend?
Yeah, please email the camptprc@gmail.com email address there. That will be on every welcome email as well. So we'll send out an email next Wednesday with all the details of the week, and just say that exact same thing so that it goes to the directors. And we're bound by law to check on you if you haven't showed up for camp. So if you're not telling us that why your child isn't there, we haven't heard that from you guys directly, we're going to call you and ask where you are. So please do that. That'll be very helpful.
Thank you.
Covered everything. I'm so good.
Quick question. Last year, I know that some of the groups there were 2 different sections based on the number of kids, and you could request certain individuals, like if there were friends, to be in the same group. Are there any duplicates this year? I know you mentioned like the deers, the foxes, coyotes, but like second, third, fourth, are there any duplicate groups?
Going into K, first and second, we're all going to be split. It's a really strange year for us because our senior camp only makes up about 30% of our camp every week, but everybody from children going kindergarten, first and second grade is the other 150 kids a week or 130 kids a week. So we had to split all 3 of those groups. So if you're going into second grade and you would like to be with someone, or going into first or going into kindergarten, and you would like to be with your friend, you're going to email that camptprc@gmail.com and you're going to make that request. I can't guarantee that we can make every request happen. We will do our best. We know the reason why you sign up for camp is to be with their friends. So we will do
Okay.
our best. Ask is, and if you do come home Monday, or your child comes home on Monday and they aren't with their group, and it's really not a situation they like, then say something and we will try to fix it.
Okay. And you said that's for kindergarten, first and second.
Yes.
Okay. That's great. I mean, understand you can only do what you can do, but figured worth.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were able to accommodate every single request last year.
Last year, you did, at least for my situation, you 100% were. So, okay.
Yeah, we're able to usually maneuver enough around that, unless one kid has 50 friends, then they all want to be with that one child, and we're not gonna be able to do that. But it usually works out. But the only way you can make sure that happens is if you let us know.
Okay. Nope. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anything else? All right. Well, thank you for coming. Apologies again for last week. I did record this, so I will have this on the Camp T website once we've got it kind of from Zoom. And I will download the PDF portion of the slides, and I will accompany it with the next email I send to everybody, which there'll be at least one more that just kind of talks about camp docs and making sure people get those done and such. But awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.